Welcome, everyone. This is Joe Dager, the host of the Business 901 podcast. With me today is Johanna Rothman. Johanna is an author of one of my favorite project management books. It is called Manage It, which has spurred me on to buy several of her other books, with her latest one being Agile and Lean Program Management. There it is. Okay.
Yeah, here.
Okay. She is an author of over a dozen books and is known around the Agile world as the Pragmatic Manager, which I guess is as good a place as anywhere to start. Okay, Johanna, what does that mean? And introduce yourself.
Well, thank you so much, Joe. And I've been kind of around. As you can tell, I have gray hair. So I am an old programmer, is what I like to say, turned into a management geek. And the reason I call myself the Pragmatic Manager is because I have an email newsletter called The Pragmatic Manager. So this way everybody knows it's mine. And I find that everybody has a slightly different context. So very rarely can you say, this applies to everybody. Instead, you have to say, what are the principles? What's your context? How do I take the principles and apply them to my context? That's the pragmatic part.
Let me start with getting a few basic concepts in, the title of your new book. It says Agile and Lean. And a lot of people kind of blend them together. Is there a difference? I mean, can I be one without the other?
So that's an interesting question. Agile to a lot of people means Scrum. And I do not mean Scrum only in this book. I do often talk about iterations and iteration-based Agile, because the nice thing about iterations is it gives you a place to have a cadence. And at the end of that cadence, at the end of that iteration, you do a demo, you do a retrospective, you might release. So a cadence-based approach to Agile is a really good idea. Now, what a lot of people miss with Agile is the idea of all of the lean principles. See the whole, have everybody in this together, reduce the WIP, visualize your system. Oh, WIP is work in progress. So a lot of people start off with Agile and they don't apply the lean principles. So to me, this is all, I don't know how you do one without the other, but not everybody thinks that way. They think Agile is one thing and Lean is another thing. To me, I think that they're totally integratable and integrated. And the way you want to do this is to really integrate them both, because that's how you can manage the technical and the schedule and the cost risk. Everything, when you use both, you can manage all of the risks. It's not easy still, but it's quite doable.
And I'm going to have you talk about programs, okay, and most of the time and projects. Can we define the difference between a project and a program? And then I'm going to leave you taking a step farther is that twists, and how does that word scaling fit into all this?
Okay, so a project is one, maybe two teams who have a deliverable with some risk to it. And a project is a temporary endeavor. So if you go with the PMI's definition, I don't remember, but a useful definition is a project is a temporary endeavor from a reasonably, they don't say a reasonably sized group of people, but a relatively small group of people where there's some risk and you have a deliverable at the end. So that's a project, right? So you can imagine a lot of people call it a two-pizza team. If you can't feed everybody with two pizzas, then you have something more than a project. A program is several projects where the output is this one business deliverable, right? So all of the projects in the program are in service of this greater deliverable. And that's really key. So if you can imagine a cell phone, right, there's the hardware, there's the operating system, there's all the applications, there's all the services so that the applications can live in there. That's a really big program. Now you might have a website that's a program, because you have the search function, you have the shopping cart function, you have all the administration function on the back end. All of that stuff has to come together for the users, and there are plenty of different kinds of users, to have a seamless approach into this site, right? So a program is a bigger product, and I find that that's helpful.
When I'm looking at a project, I have an end date, right? It's going to be finished. Do they actually finish? Okay.
Oh, yes, projects finish. Projects finish. There's no question about it.
Do programs finish?
Programs finish. And the nice part about Agile and Lean, especially if you use Agile and Lean, right, you have the rhythm of the cadence. So you have deliverables every so often, and you're always looking, are we making the business value move through this? Are we delivering by value? All of this works. Now I see on your bookshelf you have a copy of Manage It. So in there I talked about release criteria. You still need, on every project, you need release criteria. How do we know that we are able to finish this project? So before we started recording, you talked about exploratory projects and experimental projects, where you want to iterate on the experiment and measure and see what you get. So you might decide that those projects you end when you run out of money, or you run out of time, or you have the answers. But those are all possible release criteria. And that way you can figure out, what does done mean for this project or for this program? So you can say, yeah, we started marching along, and here we're going to be done. And we're done because of either the date or the money, or we have all these other criteria that say we're done. So yes, even Agile projects can be done. In fact, they should be.
Well, the book is, of course, on Amazon, but is there a book site or other ways in different formats available and a place to learn about it?
Absolutely. So there's a page on my website. If you go to my books page, all of my books are there, and Agile and Lean Program Management is one of those books there. I'm selling it everywhere fine books are sold. So aside from Amazon, where it's in print and audio and ebook, I believe that Barnes & Noble also has the print and the ebook. Kobo has the ebook. Let's see. Of course, it's on LeanPub. I'm sure that I have it on more places, and I just don't remember because I don't have it up on my screen.
And what is your website?
jrothman.com. JROTHMAN.com.
And is that the best place for someone to contact you?
Absolutely.
Okay, you do read the contact thing when someone sends it.
Oh, I do. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you very much, Johanna. It's been a delight. I like I said, I've been a long-time fan of yours. I think Manage It is got to be close to 10 years old now, doesn't it?
Yes, I believe it was published in 2007.
Okay.
So yes, almost 10 years.
Yeah, which is amazing from where Agile has come from them, but it still is relevant today. And in fact, I just looked at it before the podcast, and I thought, oh yeah, you know.
Yep.
So great. What is there anything like you add or mention anyone about your books or your work or anything?
So I'm actually working on an Agile project management book. Well, it's going to be Agile and Lean. I know, what a surprise. And that's kind of based on Manage It. So Manage It was for any project. And this other book, which is not named at this point, is about how you use Agile and Lean on your projects for your context. I'm also offering writing workshops because I find that other people want to learn how to write the way, not so that they sound like me, but with my prolificness. So I'm offering writing workshops, and I'm offering a product owner workshop, because in Agile, the product owner job is so difficult. And I think that there is just not enough out there. So when I talk about roadmaps, product owners say, I have to do a roadmap. I don't have to just do a backlog. So I'm offering a 6-week online workshop about how you really do the product owner job.
Oh, I think that's great information. I'm glad I asked that question, okay?
I am too. Thank you.
This podcast will be available on Business 901 iTunes Store and the Business 901 website. So I would like to thank Johanna and also all the listeners for listening. So thanks, everyone.